Thank you. My talk tonight will be 9 minutes and 14 seconds, allotting for the some 48 seconds of complaining about the 10 minutes delivered by Lance Kennedy tonight. You guys have got to come up here and stand at this podium before you go down to cocktails to see what it looks like. We'll go one at a time. To see all these people out in front of this camp show stage where so many inappropriate things have been conducted over the years. The camp show stage tonight is absolved of all its past sins because nothing but good things have happened on this wood since we started this program earlier tonight. I would like to first and foremost say that the reason I've been able to accomplish anything at Camp Pathfinder is because, number one, my family has been behind me the whole way. That begins with my dad, Chuck Sladden, who wishes he could be here with us tonight, but who is, as all of us in my age group fear in our middle age, is suffering from what's known as old age, and as much as he wants to be here to celebrate with us tonight, he's at home celebrating in comfort and safety where he should be. His heart is with us tonight, and I mentioned Chuck because he was here with Todd Goodwin and Jeff Miller and Cubby Weisbeck and Bill Swift and R.Q. Anderson in the 40s, and has a piece of a canoe that didn't quite make it all the way down the Chippewa River. He also is the father who brought me to Algonquin Park in the late 1960s and talked to his friend Swifty at AO and had him provide a guide so that my dad could drink scotch the entire time we went on my first canoe trip ever. And that guide that Swifty provided so that we could go from cash to head to harness to head to cash on my very first canoe trip was Roger Purdy, the son of Amy Purdy, who cooked for this camp with love, devotion, and I've got to believe sacrifice, wood stove for hundreds of people for over 30 years. I was in Algonquin Park for about 3.5 minutes with my dad that summer, and I was hooked. And so the very first thing that happened to me because of a family member was not just Pathfinder, but Algonquin Park. That's what it's all about. Family includes my mother, Patsy, who agreed to let me go to camp, despite lots of Irish mother trepidations. And when I agreed to go partners with Glenn, said, Mike, your great-grandfather knew Norton and tripped in the park and went to Pathfinder. And your grandfather and his brothers all went to Pathfinder. And your father and uncles all went to Pathfinder, and you went to Pathfinder. I hope your sons will someday go to Pathfinder. There's no need to buy Pathfinder. And as some of the friends of mine here in this audience of my generation will know, when your mother says you can't, you will. Other family members, my wife, Leslie Sladden, my sons, Philip Algonquin Sladden and James Elliott Todd Sladden, they're known as Quinn and Jack, have been the guiding light and the rock behind everything I've been able to do. My talk theme is on the present, right? So this is very much present in my mind. And I would like to also recognize right now my partner, Glenn Arthurs. That's a dicey term these days, so let me rephrase, my camp partner. Even that seems a little dicey right now, so let me say my business partner, Glenn Arthurs. I would like to, especially at the beginning and at the end of my remarks, thank the working staff of this season and recent seasons at Camp Pathfinder, who I'm sure you've seen from the performance they've given at this weekend, which they gave to the Centennial rather than enjoy it, have made Camp Pathfinder everything that it is and can be at the turn of this century and at the beginning of our second century. The staff of Camp Pathfinder right now. It's hard, very hard, and it seems slightly unfair to single out particular members of this staff, but I can't help but say that my heart goes out to and my appreciation goes out to, my love goes out to the chefs and the kitchen staff of this camp over the recent years, and to the DOTs that have taken us where we've gone in these recent years, and to the spring and the fall crew, the senior head men and women who make it go in the shoulder seasons, and you got to come up here to see what that means. And to Mary Chestnut. If a voice of reason and a voice of moderation, if the guts of a headman and the sense of a camp mother can all be combined into one persona, along with a legacy and a family history that is bar none in the elite of what's going on with the Pathfinder tradition, that is Mary. And Mary insists on working behind the scenes, and Mary insists on saying, I help Slads in the office. And you know what Mary does? Mary makes it go. Mary makes it go. So my family and my partner and the staff, they are the ones that make it work. And I'm the lucky one. I'm the lucky one whose feet get to walk these needled trails, whose knees get to touch cedar ribs while my hands work a maple paddle through these dark Algonquin waters, whose eyes see dawn, dusk, day, and midnight in Source Lake in Algonquin Park. I'm the lucky one who gets to witness what happens with the kids who come here and what happens to the staff who make what happens to those kids happen. I'm the lucky one. I'm definitely the product of Swifty and Roy, who were both intimidating, inspiring, kind, and challenging as owners, and of the headmen that they hired and placed me in trust with on canoe trips all over Algonquin Park. And that includes, among several, Nails Kennedy, Bob Rogo, Jay Leybuddy, and Jack Hurley. Without those four dudes, I would have no idea what to do. And with them, I had every idea what to do when I got my hands on the controls. I'm the product of Mac Rand and the opportunity he gave me in the mid-'80s to come back to camp after a hiatus and be involved with it in a very substantive way right away. He gave me very strong second men like Bill Knupp on my first and second set trips to make sure I wasn't wacko. And when Knupp gave him the thumbs up, he sent me to Temagami leading an AA trip and that was a trip of a lifetime, and included Pat Hodgson Jr., who's in the audience today. And Pat, that was a wicked canoe trip, and we had a blast. Those are the foundations, right? Those are the foundations. Those are the cedar sticks on the fire that have made it burn for me for these years. There's no point in itemizing the things that we think we've done in 14 years. You guys know what they are. You can approve, you can disapprove, you can suggest modifications, and we want to listen. But we are going to stick with what you and I know is fundamental Pathfinder and never let it change as long as we have a chance to sway the decision making. And we are going to keep using Pathfinder's unique tradition of change to make sure that when there's an opportunity that presents itself to make this a better experience, to make it an experience for today's kid that connects them with the always values this camp represents. When we have a chance to bring the staff into the picture as just as important a constituency as the kids, for the kids' sake and for the staff's sake as they move from camper to young adult, from young adult to full adult, from full adult to fully invested in their families and communities, we're going to do it. And when we have the chance to make the parents of our campers as important to us as the staff and the kids themselves, so that they can have the comfort level they need, so that they can get educated about what it is to be up here, and so they can give their sons an opportunity to have what may be today an even more important experience with all that's going on in the world than it was in past years when we enjoyed it. We're going to do it. And now, if we get the chance, we're going to embrace and bring all of you and all of the alumni that couldn't be with us today into the picture, because we have come a long way collectively, standing on the shoulders of all who have gone before us. And we can go the next step, you guys. In an era when canoe tripping camps are dropping like flies, we can take it the next step as this old girl enters her second century. And if you embrace and engage with Pathfinder, if you connect in ways that you can and you want to, we are going to take it to a level that will see this camp reach that bicentennial. And by God, I'll be standing up here. And there's nothing you can do about it. New Roy and his Griff Menzies.